Thank you for joining me on my masterclass. Now, today I'm going to be teaching you guys the fastest way to build intergenerational wealth. Now, that's the fastest way to build intergenerational wealth. You see, if you've traveled as wildly and as often as I have, you know that a lot of people all over the world believe in something called a generational curse. So, the most likely generational curse is that people believe in is in poverty. So a lot of people believe that they're poor because of a generational curse, something that their ancestors did, and then it's affecting them. Or it might be like maybe they were hexed, there was a spell put on them. I'm telling you, too many people believe it. I used to think that it was only common in West Africa until I traveled into Asia. I traveled into other parts of Africa and I went to Latin America. I mean, it's so prevalent in Latin America. But there are no such things as generational curses. There are no such things as generational curses. Poverty has a cause. Poverty has something that makes it happen, a causative factor, but it's not curses. The reason why a lot of people, much more people, are poor than they need to be is because of generational bad habits. It's because of generational bad habits. So it's a bad habit or a custom or a tradition that their parents and then their grandparents, their ancestors have been doing, and it becomes a culture. And it's very difficult for them to break that culture. And then, for want of a word, they call it a generational curse. There's no generational curse. You can break out of poverty. And intergenerational wealth means that wealth that you enjoy and then you leave for your progeny. That means your descendants, like maybe your children, your grandchildren, you leave for them. So that's intergenerational wealth. Intergenerational wealth. Now, what is the fastest way to build intergenerational wealth? In the United States, and this applies not just in the United States, it applies elsewhere. You know, the fastest way to build intergenerational wealth is in real estate, is through real estate. People struggle, do whatever they can, they cut vacation, they cut smoking, they cut drinking, they cut going out, they cut even things that are just like as commonplace as buying new clothes. They cut them out so that they can buy home. They can buy home. Because you see, the world surface is not increasing. The world surface is not increasing. Since God created this world, the surface has not increased. It's just the same. However, human population is increasing and it's increasing drastically. Human population is increasing. So last year, for example, human population was about 7.8 billion and it is estimated that it's going to hit about 8 billion this year. So what that means is that there is a constant demand for food and housing. That makes real estate the most demanded quality on earth. Because you need real estate, you need land to grow food for people, and then you need land to build houses for people. As long as the population continues to grow faster than the land surface, and which is always going to be a given, you're going to have pressure on real estate. So it's the same reason, for instance, why pensions work. A lot of people just think that pensions are an idea that the money is there kept for you. No, no. How pensions work is that the older generation work and then the younger generation don't work. And then by the time the younger generation starts to work, the money that they're paying, the taxes, is used to pay the pension for the older generation so that they will also give birth to children and then their children will work. And then when their children work, it is the money that their children make that will be used to pay them. So for pensions, it is the younger generation that pays for the older generation. That's why if you notice, whenever you see a country with declining birth rate, even if it's the most racist country in the whole world, once they start to have declining birth rates, then they open up their country to immigration. They open up their country to immigrants to meet at least to get them above 1%. Because if their population starts to grow below 1%, what's going to happen is that there's going to be economic collapse. That means that you're going to have more old people than young people. And so the pension system is going to collapse. And that's why it works. So countries that open up their borders for immigration, even some countries that are, even they have a lot of racist people, it's not because they like you. It's just because they want to save themselves from economic collapse. So real estate, when you have real estate, because of what I just talked about, the formula I just talked about, that is population growth and then limited land surface, real estate is always likely to go up. So it might go up faster in some places. It might go up, like maybe slower in some places, but it's always going to go up. It's just by degrees. So if you, for instance, check out your parents, if your parents have a house, the home that they bought, if you look at the price at when they bought it and then compare it to now, you see that the home value has appreciated. It doesn't matter wherever you are, the home value has appreciated. So the fastest way for intergenerational wealth transfer is through real estate, because at some point in time, your parents will die. And when they die, they're going to transfer that home to you and your siblings. That's the first way. Now, the second way, which a lot of people do not take advantage of, is through life insurance. Life insurance is the second fastest way for intergenerational wealth transfer. You see, as a matter of fact, in the United States, 52% of people in the United States have life insurance. 52% of people. That's why in the United States, when people die, wealth is being made. So if your parents die, wealth is being made by you. Even if you die, wealth is being made by your parents, because parents also have life insurance on their children. You see, I have life insurance. My children have life insurance. So if I die, because I'm more likely to die before my children are going to make money. But in a lot of third world countries, in a lot of countries that are very poor, they have no life insurance. And if you ask them why they have no life insurance, they're going to say, well, my parents never had life insurance. So why should I have life insurance? So you see, there again, those intergenerational bad habits. Life insurance is one of the, would I say, most reliable ways to get wealthy. It's the second fastest way to have intergenerational wealth after real estate, but it's actually easier to make money from life insurance faster than real estate, because life insurance costs so little. It costs so little. You can get life insurance for something as little as $2 per day. You can get life insurance for as little as $2 per day. And so here's the thing. You get life insurance for yourself, and you get life insurance for your children. If by any chance anything happens to you and you die, your children inherit a life sum. So with about $2 a day life insurance, you can get $250,000 life cover. It doesn't matter if you're in Nigeria, or in Ghana, or in Tanzania, or in Nepal, or in Cambodia, or in Canada, Thailand, no matter where you are, Peru, life insurance companies exist everywhere. And life insurance works. So you get life insurance. That's why you see in Africa and Asia and Latin America, when people die, you see there's a lot of crying, there's a lot of grief. People roll on the floor, they bang their head on the wall. Why? Because when people die in these countries, a lot of them, they have no life insurance. So it is their survivors, their wives, their children that have to look for money to bury them. But in the Western world, when people die, if you watch it, maybe if you see it in movies, and movies are a reflection of reality. When people die, you don't see them crying like that. You see them, yeah, there's dignified grief. Why? Because as a matter of fact, that person that died, especially if they are an adult, generally 52% of Americans have life insurance. But when they are adults and they are working, the amount increases exponentially to about something like almost 80% of Americans. And so when a parent dies, you see that there's dignified grief, because there's money for the funeral from the life insurance, and then you also have enough money to divide for the children. So maybe the average person in the United States has about $200,000 life insurance. How much is the funeral going to cost? Maybe at most $10,000. So you have about $190,000 to share among the survivors. So that's why you see dignified grief. So you are poor, not because of a generational curse, but because of generational bad habits. If you don't have real estate and life insurance, chances are that when you die, your children are going to continue your poverty. So it's not going to be an intergenerational systemic poverty. But if you have real estate and life insurance, chances are that when you die, your children are not going to be poor. So it's going to stop with you. So if you want to build intergenerational wealth, you got to focus on two things. Focus on real estate and life insurance. Now, if you watch this and you have questions arising from this, put your questions in the comment section of this video, and my staff are going to bring them to me, and I'll do my best to respond to each and every category. However, you got to remember that I do not have a WhatsApp forum, a Telegram channel, or a Gmail email address. Scammers see that my videos tend to go viral, so they created a number of fake YouTube profiles with my image on them. Can you imagine with my image? And they approach you in the comment sections of my videos telling you helpline, guideline, one-on-one mentoring. Contact me for more profitable information. When you contact them, they start chatting with you on WhatsApp or Telegram and they tell you that they are Reno Omokri's personal assistants. None of those people work for me. Everything I do is for free. I've got staff, but my staff don't do any of that. So please beware of these scammers and spammers. Do not pay money for anybody. Right? This is Reno Omokri, the Apostle of Prosperity, saying God bless you.
Travels all around the world. I hope you get inspired about what you see. Apostle of greatness, Reno is a master. Only one man against the whole world in large. Fighting with the monsters, poverty I can't stand. That's why Reno is